I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to this evening's meeting. This is the 13th meeting of the year for the Board of Directors, and on this Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. We'll begin with invocation by our very own Police Chief, Chris Chapman, and I'll lead the pledge. All rise.
Please pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, first of all, thank you for allowing us to celebrate our country's founding this weekend, and our country was founded with you as a core principle, and we just thank you for allowing us to do that this weekend. We ask that you watch over us tonight as we conduct the city's business. We do it professionally, ethically, and with the best hearts we can for the betterment of our community and our citizens that are impacted by our decisions. We thank you for the wonderful city we live in, for the great country we live in, and we give you all the glory and praise. In your Son's wonderful name we pray. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
call this meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Director Erin Holliday.
Here.
Director Elaine Jones. Director Marcia Dobbs-Smith.
Here.
Director Carol Weatherford.
Here.
Director Karen Garcia.
Here.
Director Steve Trusty. Mayor Pat McCabe.
Here. We have a quorum. At this time, we'll consider approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions to the agenda, or items to be moved from the consent agenda to new business? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Director
Second.
Holliday, seconded by Director Garcia. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda's approved. We'll consider the approval of the minutes of the regularly scheduled meeting of June 21, 2022. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Director Dobbs-Smith,
Second.
seconded by Director Garcia. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Recognition of guests. Any directors have any guests, or city leadership have any guests?
Mayor, I would like to introduce Renee Burrough to the board. Renee is with our finance department and has stepping up over this next month to be the interim director in the absence of our finance director until Karen Scott comes on board August 1st. So just want to introduce Renee to the board. Thank you, Renee.
Well, thank you. I know we'll be in good hands. Consider city manager's report. Mr. Burrough.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to talk about our water supply project and update the board on that ongoing project. The plan itself is out for bid. It will open towards the end of July. We're anxiously waiting that opening to see what those prices come in at. We know that we're having some supply issues in other areas of the project, but that plant opening is a key indicator of what's to come. So we're looking forward to some, hopefully more than one bid comes in for that particular project opening at the end of July. Boring has begun on the intake side at Blakely Mountain for that same project. Michaels Corporation started into the mountain last week, and the tunnel for the encasement pipe should be completed this week. And that encasement pipe, and unless you see it and somebody standing next to it, it's hard to imagine the size of this encasement. It's 40 feet long and 72 inches in diameter, and that's going to be used actually as the anchoring system for the boring machine that'll be arriving later this month. The micro tunnel machine, again, you know, our complete bore is about 2,600 feet of 60-inch diameter pipe, but it will all fit through this current 72-inch as an anchor. So we're excited about that project. We do have two major pipe lay projects that are in progress now and moving rather well. So everything continues, but again, that plant opening, bid opening, is going to be really key for our entire project, and I believe it's 28th of July that opens, somewhere in that neighborhood. Is that right? 26th. So July 26th, we'll have that opening, be able to report a little bit more to the board at that time. Other than that, the project is moving well. We've had 15 residents so far that have been able to take advantage of the Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program. This is a program I mentioned at our last meeting. They've sent our utility billing services team 15 approved applications so far, totaling around $2,700 in assistance. And residents can apply for up to $2,000 in past due payment assistance. We'll have that website on our page. It's rather lengthy, but for those that need assistance, this is a great avenue to take advantage of. This is a free federally funded program, and it's to help our low-income households, again, pay their residential water and wastewater past due balances. Recent finance and solid waste hires, as I have told most of the board, I was able to hire both our finance director and solid waste director and fill those two key positions. I've hired Karen Scott as the finance director, and she'll officially start August the 1st. Karen has several years of experience as finance director in the city of Benton, as well as the city of North Little Rock, and is currently the CFO of Benton Utilities. Looking forward to her arrival, and again want to thank Renee for stepping in as the interim this month. Michael Mundell will be joining us this month as our solid waste director. He's managed the solid waste department in the city of Copperas Cove, Texas for several years, and is currently serving in New Braunfels, Texas. So Mike has had a wonderful career both in solid waste, but he's also a 21-year career military vet that with the United States Army. Look forward to introducing them both in person once they're on board, but we're very excited to have both of those individuals join our team. Budget season is just not too far away. It's hard to imagine that we're already in July, but as the third quarter approaches, we start scheduling our 2023 budget preparations. August 6th, the board retreat will define what the board's goals and budget priorities will be for the upcoming year. The following week, staff will begin working on budget modules in preparation of a late September department meetings with myself and the finance. It's a busy time ahead, but we want to make sure that we have this ready for a late October board work session on the budget with hopefully a mid-November final budget being presented to the board. Want to recognize several employees. We've had at least 4 employees recently earn important certifications related to their positions here at the city. Rachel Keeling in Stormwater. She passed a 3-hour exam to become a certified floodplain manager, joining Deputy City Manager Denny McFate as the only other CFM in the city. That's a huge accomplishment, and want to congratulate Rachel on that. Cody Howell and Chase Helton of our water treatment plant crew. Both of those have the highest certification you can have on the water side of our utility system, but they've taken it upon themselves to move and also become certified in wastewater treatment. And they both received their Class 1 wastewater treatment exam. Ronnie Orr earned his Class 4 wastewater treatment license, and that's the highest plant operation classification, state classification that you can receive. It takes many hours and years to complete these certifications, so all 3 of them want to recognize their efforts and congratulate them on their certifications. Finally, the Animal Services June statistics. Animal Services has started sharing monthly statistics on their Facebook page to boost the community awareness and gain the trust and confidence that staff is doing all it can to adopt as many animals as possible. They've also been posting daily intake numbers during this busy season and photos of pets that are available for adoption, all of which seem to be helping their efforts. Local and out-of-state rescue organizations have also helped us tremendously. For June, the shelter adopted out 127 animals. They received 245 animals in that time and had 19 of those reclaimed. They've been getting a lot of calls for lost and found pets as well. And there is a website, Facebook group, Garland County Lost and Found Pets. There's a link to there's a link on our Animal Services webpage to that organization and that Facebook page. So that's a really good tool if somebody is looking for a lost pet. Garland County Lost and Found Pets. So, Mayor, with that, I'll conclude my report.
Very good. Thank you. Very informative. Appreciate all the updates on our city staff members. Board of Directors announcements of upcoming events. And directors have announcements on upcoming events. Director Garcia?
For the Broadmoor neighborhood, wanted to let them know that it is confirmed. We have a meeting next Thursday, the 13th, at 5 o'clock at the Center at Forest Lakes with the city attorney and city manager. And appreciate this neighborhood meeting that I'm hosting. It is a public meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other Director Holliday?
Yeah, a quick save the date for the Let Your Light Shine fundraiser. This is in the Park Avenue area, Sunday, July 24th at the Vapors. All the proceeds go to support the pedestrian lighting that's been going on in Park, and so they'll be raising money and adding more lights. It's a great collaboration between neighborhoods and individuals raising funds, the City of Hot Springs, and then some private individuals as well who help to get those lights placed. So again, July 24th at the Vapors at 5:30.
Very good. Well, thank you.
Mayor, could I clarify Director Garcia's announcement? Director Garcia, I had it down as the 13th.
Yeah, I'm
so
sorry. Did I not say 13th?
It'd be Wednesday instead of Thursday. You
Oh, I'm
mentioned
sorry.
Thursday. Okay.
Thank
I
you.
want to make sure I didn't show up a day early.
Yes, it's the 13th, and it's not Friday the 13th. It's not Thursday. It's Wednesday.
Thank you.
A week from tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right. With the holiday, I'm 1 week, 1 day off already, so.
Lost one.
Okay, so now we'll move on to the consent agenda. These are items of a routine nature and do not require individual discussion, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So
as
moved, Mayor.
Director Garcia.
Second.
Director Dobb Smith, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent
Mayor.
agenda is approved. We have 2 items of old business. The first is Resolution R 22-104. Ask city to read by, or city council read by title.
Resolution R-22-104, a resolution approving the City of Hot Springs financial statements for April 2022. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would entertain a motion and second to adopt, please.
Motion to adopt.
A
Got to adopt first.
substitute, I thought it was acknowledging.
No, ma'am, it was tabled, so it must come back to you as it was tabled. We'll get into discussion in
Okay.
a moment.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Director Dobb Smith, seconded by
Second.
Director Holliday. And now our report will be provided, staff report will be provided by City Attorney Brian Albright.
Thank you, Mayor. As the mayor indicated, this is old business by virtue of it being on your agenda June 21st meeting. A motion and second was made on the original motion to approve. There was discussion and a motion to table then ensued. So the matter was tabled to tonight's meeting. It pertains to the financial statements of the City of Hot Springs for April of 2022. You all were provided with in your packet those statements. They have been on file at the finance office since that time. After a discussion with Director Garcia regarding these reports, I have provided you with a substituted resolution at your station. So the title of this resolution, it's still 22-104. The title will read, "A Resolution Acknowledging Receipt of the City of Hot Springs Financial Statements for April of 2022." And then therefore, it will state that the receipt of the City of Hot Springs financial statements for April 2022 are hereby acknowledged, and that same are on file for public inspection and audit at the City of Hot Springs Finance Department located at 324 Malvern Avenue, Hot Springs, Arkansas. At this point, Mayor, I would encourage someone to make a motion to substitute this.
I move to substitute, Mayor.
Second.
You have a motion by Director Garcia, second by Director Weatherford to substitute the current resolution with that which has been provided. All in favor of the substitution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Substituted, so now we'll need to have you read the,
Unless there's additional discussion on the motion as amended, it would be time to call for the vote.
okay,
But we do have a question.
Director Garcia?
I just wanted to say thank you very much for doing this, and I was the director that moved to table it because I had some questions, and I wanted to thank the Finance Department for providing some additional reports in a little more detail, and rather than hold up these, if there's questions, rather than approving, if we change this wording and acknowledging receipt, then it won't hold up our monthly review if we have this where we can still ask questions and get additional information. So there was some additional CFA detail provided, and we had about $7.9 million of uncommitted ARCA funds, and if there is time at our workshop next month on August 6th, I was hopeful that we could include that for discussion on those uncommitted funds. So I think that will be helpful for us monitoring, because the expenditures may have POs that we haven't made payments against, and this lets us know how much is actually committed even though it's not spent yet. So thank you for that, and I'm ask for affirmative vote in this substituted motion.
Mayor, I would just add that acknowledging receipt is all that's required by state law. So this is not anything less than what is absolutely required.
So now we've had a motion to substitute. This is a little different process than just amending a motion, then we come back and approve the motion as amended.
You have amended the motion by substituting
Okay.
this, and so we have a motion second for that. If there's not any further discussion, then call in the roll.
Okay. Call the roll.
Director Holliday.
Aye.
Director Dobbs-Smith.
Aye.
Director Weatherford.
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Resolution is adopted. Our second item under old business is to consider ordinance O22-22, and I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
So moved.
Can I, Mayor, before we get into discussion on this, I would,
We need to get it on the floor
Oh,
before
we
we
need to get it on
can
the- okay.
discuss. Right.
I need a motion to suspend the rules to read by title only.
so moved.
Director Dobbs-Smith, second by Director Holliday. All in favor of the motion to suspend the rules, read by title only, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. We have please read by title.
I'll read it now, Mayor. Thank you. Ordinance O-22-26, an ordinance amending ordinance number 6410, regulating short-term residential rental businesses within the city of Hot Springs, Arkansas, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. That concludes your reading. If you would now entertain a motion second to adopt, and then we can have discussion.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Director Weatherford, seconded by Director Holliday. Staff report by City Attorney Brian Albright.
Did you want to make a motion?
Yes,
at
I'd
this
like to
point?
make a motion, Mayor,
Go
that
ahead.
since we have Director Jones and Director Trustee missing tonight and won't be back for a couple of weeks, I'd like to make a motion to table this till then, so that everyone has an opportunity to vote on this and discuss this.
To clarify your motion, without a specified date, it automatically is tabled until the next meeting.
Okay.
Do we know that you're going to hear it next meeting, or do you want to set a specified date?
He'll be back.
Well,
I don't know
she
what
may not.
Elaine's schedule is.
Next meeting is the 19th, and one after that is August 2nd.
Let's do August 2nd. Is that all right? Yeah, that make sure that she's back.
So the motion is to table until the August 2nd business meeting.
Correct.
Is there a second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
No.
Motion's approved. Now we go on to new business. We have 3 items under new business. First is consider resolution R-22-114. Ask city attorney to read by title.
Resolution R-22-114, a resolution adopting the 2022 wastewater system master plan prepared by Christ Engineers. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would, entertain a motion second to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Director Dobb Smith, seconded by
Second.
Director Weatherford. And our staff report will be provided by, are you going to provide it, or Todd?
That'll be Mr. Pillar.
Yeah,
Todd Pillar.
Engineering Project Manager. Usually they're already running to the podium by the time we get to this part.
I wasn't sure whether I was supposed to talk tonight or not.
Okay.
Too much brass in the room.
And introduce Craig Johnson from Christ Engineers is here as well. So this resolution is for our 2022 wastewater master plan. We've been working on it for 2 years, and this will take us to 2040. And believe it or not, the first thing I want to say is the first time I've come to the board with an item that doesn't have any financial impact.
Thank
Well,
you.
not in the report, but from the report there will be.
Yeah.
Financial impact. Anyway, we've been working on this for quite a while. There's 8 volumes. It's about 1,000 pages. And what you had in your board packet was the executive summary and then the presentation we did last week during your agenda meeting, after your agenda meeting. But it's just like our water master plan. It is a living document. So this year we're going back after 5 years, and we are looking at our water master plan. In 5 years we'll come back and look at this one as well. But very extensive work was done. We covered everything on our collection system, gravity mains, manholes, force mains, lift stations, our big lift stations, our large lift stations, and both our wastewater treatment plants. And we came up with a CIP list, capital investment projects that are near term, mid-term, and long-term, just like we have in our water master plan. And the resolution states that we're just supposed to adopt this 2022 wastewater system master plan.
Very good. Any questions of Mr. Pillar? Director Garcia?
Not a question. I just wanted to thank you for the, in the work session that we had where in great detail, everything was reviewed with the entire board for the updated plan here that's needed for Hot Springs. And I wanted to thank the Christ Engineers and the GIS. I'm still very impressed with that interaction program that they have for us. So thank you.
Now, we had a water master plan, and the wastewater master plan is upgraded to the GIS. Now Matt Dunn and Kristen, they're going to have to put the GIS on the water plan too. So, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. Anyone sign up for the, from the public?
No, sir.
No? Any discussion amongst directors? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Director Dobb Smith.
Aye.
Director Weatherford.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Holliday.
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Resolution's adopted. Now we'll consider resolution R-22-115 and ask the city attorney to read by title.
Resolution R-22-115, a resolution approving community development block grant fiscal year 2022 annual action plan and authorizing submission of a grant application with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for projects listed in the action plan. That concludes your reading. If you would, entertain a motion second to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
So moved. Second.
Director Weatherford, Director Garcia. And our staff report will be provided by Kathy Sellman, Planning and Development Director. Welcome.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. And we're going to talk about money that somebody else is giving the city of Hot Springs. So that'll be nice. City of Hot Springs was designated as a Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, entitlement community by HUD in 2003. The city is required to submit an annual action plan to HUD describing projects to be undertaken and how the funds are going to be spent. At a duly advertised meeting on March 3rd, the Hot Springs Community Development Advisory Committee, CDAC, considered applications submitted in anticipation of the fiscal year 2022 CDBG grant award. And they voted 4-0 to recommend to you a prioritized project list of eligible applications. And that annual action plan was made available for public review and comment beginning June 4th. At their meeting on June 16th, CDAC considered the FY 2022 annual action plan and voted unanimously to recommend that you, Hot Springs Board of Directors, approve that plan as submitted. HUD requires that an approved FY 2022 annual action plan must be submitted to them by July 12th. And then following that, HUD will allocate 45 days for their review of your plan. The approval of an annual action plan listing a project is not a guarantee that the project will take place. The project does have to go through an environmental review process, and depending on the nature of each project, that determines the severity of the scrutiny. We have 12 projects proposed to spend the entirety of $460,152 that HUD will be providing to Hot Springs this year. Those projects are the items that were prioritized highest by CDAC. The project number 12 is being partially funded because there was not enough money to fund it in full. That was community-based arts by Cutwell for Kids. I don't want to surprise or spoil our surprise that we have for you in an upcoming meeting, but we will be doing a substantial amendment to prior year annual action plan that will allow you, if you so choose, to fully fund that project number 12 and also project number 13, Miss Ida's House of Care and Love. And so that is a great year for us. All of the projects that came in were very good. They are all eligible activities, and it looks like through the $460,152 for the upcoming year, we can get projects 1 through, let's say, 12.5, and then 12.5 through 13 with that substantial amendment. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, and that concludes the presentation.
Very good. Any questions of Ms. Sellman? Director Garcia.
Thank you. I refer to it as tax dollars coming back to Hot Springs rather than them just giving money. We're getting some of our tax money for the public good.
Absolutely right.
And I have the on the sidewalks at the Chelsea Street, that has been needed, and this helps children and adults, and a lot of children in this area, and they go to Hollywood Park, and they people walk in that to their destinations there, and this is very much needed and appreciated, and that neighborhood is glad to have this approved on the list. My question is, Miss Ida's house, is that a nonprofit?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And to kind of extend a little bit what you said about sidewalks, I'm so glad you brought it up. We're told that 30% of people in our area for whatever reason, by choice or by necessity, do not have access to driving themselves somewhere. So children, seniors, all kinds of people who don't have the ability or the wherewithal will benefit from that expenditure. It's a
Yes.
good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Director Sellman, on the Park Avenue cyclist safety improvements, what can we expect on that?
Park Avenue pedestrian and cyclist safety improvement, let me look at that. I believe that that includes additional sidewalk and also some bike lane striping. Let me find that. Well, I'm pretty sure that's what that is, so I don't want to keep you.
That's fine. With the new trailhead there on Pullman Street to the Northwoods, and people, you see bikes everywhere nowadays downtown, and
That's right.
just anything we can do to add to their safety and also provide the motorists an idea as to where they need to be versus where the cyclists will be, recognizing that anytime you make a left turn on a bicycle, you're going to be crossing traffic.
That's right. Yeah.
And, sometimes motorists get frustrated with that. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Any discussion amongst directors? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Director Weatherford.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Holliday.
Aye.
Dobbs Smith.
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Resolution is adopted. Our final action item of this evening is to consider ordinance O-22-27, and I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules to read by title only.
So moved, Mayor.
Director Garcia,
Second.
seconded by
Second.
Director Weatherford. We have a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Mayor.
Council, please read by title.
Prior to
Mayor.
reading,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mayor,
Let's-
due to a potential conflict
Yeah.
of interest, I'd like to recuse myself from this item.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so,
I'll read it now, Mayor.
Yep.
This is ordinance O-22-27, an ordinance amending the zoning map from R2 to R4 for 10 acres generally located on Shady Grove Road between Moat Street and Hollywood Avenue, amending the future land use plan map and for other purposes. That concludes your reading. If you would, entertain a motion second to adopt.
motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Director Weatherford, seconded by Director Garcia, and their staff report will be provided by Kathy Sellman,
Thank you.
Planning and Development Director. Welcome back.
Thank you. The applicant is Mr. Stephen Smith for the owner Selected Funeral Service, and he is seeking R4 medium-high-density residential zoning for approximately 10 acres of land on Shady Grove Road, generally west of Moat Street and somewhat south of Hollywood Avenue. It's currently zoned R2, suburban residential, has a future land use classification of residential low density, and is in Board of Directors District Number 5. Subject 10 acres is described only by meets and bounds. It's located approximately in the 400 block of Shady Grove Road and has about 1,200 feet of frontage on Shady Grove. The surrounding zoning to the subject property is entirely R2, which is suburban residential. The surrounding land use on the north and east is cemetery lands, and on the south and west is undeveloped wooded land. The proposed zoning request is required to demonstrate compliance with one or more mandatory findings which are set out in Hot Springs Code. The application includes a statement without additional documentation in support of the zoning change request that the property demonstrates compatibility with surrounding zoning. The surrounding zoning is residential, but either undeveloped or cemetery use. The Hot Springs Code describes the R4 district as a district that should be a mixture of single-family homes, duplexes, apartments, and customary accessory uses near schools, employment centers, and commercial centers. The subject property is conveniently located near Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort employment, to downtown, to National Park Medical Center, and to other nearby established employment centers as envisioned by the code. The 10-acre site has an unusual amount of permanent open space with the cemetery, country club, and Hot Springs Creek Greenway nearby. These amenities may offset the greater than single-family density residential that is possible in the R4 zone district. If this land is developed in the R4 district, Shady Grove Road would provide resident access that bypasses surrounding neighborhoods and thereby minimizing negative impact on those neighborhoods. The staff recommendation to Planning Commission was accepted by Planning Commission at their June 9th, 2022 meeting, and by their 7-0 vote, they accepted the findings and the recommendations of the staff report to recommend that the Board of Directors adopt an ordinance amending the future land use plan map, designating the subject property as residential medium high, and to amend the zoning map by designating the subject property R4, medium high density residential, because Planning Commission made that specific finding that the change demonstrates compatibility with surrounding development and zoning, and the change is consistent with the objectives of the zoning code as required by section 16-11E. That concludes the presentation.
Good. Any questions of Ms. Sellman? Thank you. Have anyone sign up?
No, sir.
No one signed up. Any discussion amongst directors? Hearing none. Please call the roll.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Holliday.
Aye.
The record will reflect that Dobb Smith is recused. Weatherford.
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Ordinance is adopted. That completes the action items of this for this evening. Board of Directors items for discussion. Yes, Director Garcia.
Mayor, there was mention of these certifications and the different staff had achieved. Well, last month, you and I recertified for the municipal officials certification, and we both achieved the advanced level for the same. So congratulations to you.
Same to you. As we acknowledge Mr. Burrough, our city manager.
And
was
yeah, he had
recognized in
also.
a similar light, though it was with his accreditations or recertifications. So. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Any other Board of Directors items for discussion? We're all enjoying the heat wave and the heat index. So, had some people from Arizona in, and they haven't quite adjusted to the humidity that we have here. When you step out, you can't breathe, that kind of heat. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn for
Second.
for Elaine Jones.
Okay, very good, in honor of Elaine. So we got Director Weatherford and seconded by Director Garcia. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you.